film, I kept telling the staff going into the week that I thought they were playing, Iowa was playing at a really high level, and they are just as impressive in person. I want to give them the credit. I thought for us, transition defense was an issue. The pace in which they pushed the ball, we didn't get matched up as well as we should have, but give them credit for pushing it consistently. Our half-court defense, I thought at times was pretty good, and we had some communication errors there as well that we got to get cleaned up with some things we were doing defensively. But all in all, I thought we did some good things there. Rebounding was an issue. We've got to block out better. We got to pursue balls better. We've got to do a better job of that. That's important to get cleaned up, obviously, this week. But I thought at the end of the day, for us defensively, what hurt us more than anything was their transition game and then the rebounding. Offensively for us, obviously we struggled to finish twos in the first half. We were 5 for 21 around the basket. We've got to do a better job there in the paint in particular. We'll see how many of them were at the rim. Obviously, you're playing against a shot blocking team that's second in the league and 15th in the country. And our guys knew that, and we wanted to certainly attack them intelligently. But I thought in particular in the first half, we missed some, I don't know if some of those opportunities were influenced by shot blockers. We missed some point blankers. I thought that hurt us in Wisconsin game last week where we were 4 for 11 on shots. I thought that we should have been about 6 or 7 for 11. And I thought the same thing happened today in and around the basket where we've got to finish better. We did a good job of taking care of the ball, obviously, and shot the three well in the first half. I thought we got a great boost from DJ today. Obviously thought J. Cole did some good things as well, shooting the ball and providing us with some energy. And I thought Malcolm really played the right way today. They doubled him quite a bit, and he was very unselfish, very efficient, contributed rebounding, passing the ball, scoring efficiently. Thought he did some really, really good things. We've got some other guys that need to play a little bit better than what they played today. They know that. So, we've got to get some of those things offensively, defensively, and personnel-wise addressed. Obviously we've got 6 days off. We'll take tomorrow off. And may even take another day off this week just to get some of our bodies back right. Obviously, our bodies have had some guys play a lot of minutes, and we got some guys that are dealing with some nicks and knacks and ailments and hurts and injuries. So we want to give us an opportunity to get our guys healthy with the 6 days. But at the same time, we've got to get better too, not only in some of the areas that we addressed here earlier about that are specific to this game, but we've got to improve and get better during the week and be a better basketball team when we show up in Evanston on Saturday. Questions for the players?
Just raise your hand. Get a microphone to you.
Jalen, Coach had said on the radio before coming in here just that you guys need to handle adversity better. What do you feel like you guys can do to improve on that?
I feel like that's something we have to figure out as a team. There's not too much to say about that. Besides that, it's something we got to figure out as a team.
Back here in the middle. Back in the back. Fourth row.
DJ, you're making some plays out there. You had one really nice rebound. We kind of grabbed it over a Iowa player's head and then got a nice layup. How'd you feel out there?
One of the best things about coming off the bench is you get to evaluate what the game needs. So we needed more energy, more guys attacking the glass. So my number was called. I know my role, and today I think I did a great job executing my role. So I just wanted to come in the game and bring as much energy as possible to bring my team back up.
Williams earlier in the season or at days when you're not as explosive?
Preparation, I think. I'm doing a better job preparing myself for games. Coach always tells me stay ready. So today I think my preparation was great. I'm being more consistent about what I do in practice, even off the court. So I think preparation is a big thing.
Jalen, did you guys feel any extra pressure trying to get with Iowa, obviously the top 10 team in the country, playing really well? Was there any extra pressure to try to get a win at home? Because you've been struggling at home lately, try to get that win at home and then maybe get some momentum going off of the game the other night at Rutgers?
I wouldn't say necessarily extra pressure. I would say the fact that we've just been trying to protect the house, just having that mindset, whether it be Iowa, whether it be, it's recently we just played Rutgers, whether it be anybody in Big Ten, just protecting the house. So I feel like that should be our mindset regardless who we play. I didn't feel like there was necessarily any pressure. But.
Yeah, Jalen, at the end of games, you guys have kind of turned things on and, got back in games, forced overtime a couple times. But I guess just what is it that, maybe where you fall behind and have to, make that late run? Just, is there anything in particular?
Basketball is a game of momentums, and, coach has been talking about playing, finishing the game with 40 minutes, playing 40 minutes. And that's one thing we need to, capitalize on because, other teams, opposing teams are going to make runs, but we got to nip things in the bud as soon as possible. That's what we got to work on. And just focus on that, things in our control, turnovers, all the things that are in rebounding, effort-related things. Those are the things that we can control. And, those are the things that are going to limit our mistakes. So.
Any further questions for the players? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, fellas. You guys are good, man. Questions?
John, you mentioned rebounding, and with Thorne and Black on the bench, how can you guys improve in that best personnel you have available to you?
Just like Jalen said, just try to control what we can control. Block out. Does that guarantee you're going to get it? No, but it's a good starting point. I think Morgan is a guy that does a really good job of engaging his guy's body. Takes his guy out a lot. Some of us others got to swoop in there and get him. He's dealing most nights with 7 foot 260, 6'10", 250. And I do want him to get more defensive rebounds. He got more tonight. He got 6 of them. I thought that was good. But a lot of times, some of the teams I've coached, the guards can be the leading defensive rebounders because most of the time they're not engaging a guy. Their guy's getting back so they can run in there and swoop and get it. We need contributions from everybody there. We've got a gang rebound, I've coached guys in my career. I've been very fortunate to coach guys that are just naturally gifted rebounders. LaRon Black's one of them. David West was one of them. Dials and those guys were guys that were just good at it. Mike Thorne's one of them, But unfortunately, those guys aren't out there right now. So it is what it is. We got to figure that out. We don't have, we've got to control what we can control. So when I watch the film, I'm going to watch and see how well we blocked out. Are we going to be a team right now that leads the nation in defensive rebounding? That's probably not this team's deal right now. But we've got to find a way to be competitive in that area. Now, we should be a team that takes good care of the ball. And, tonight we played with 10. We traveled 3 or 4 times tonight. I'll watch it and see. And, I always hope that they're right when I watch it. I don't particularly like it when I watch it and they're not on some of those. But we've got to be better at taking care of the ball because that makes up for that possession difference on offensive rebounds. It just is what it is right now with the team that we have. And as Jalen said, we got to control what we can control. We got to take care of the ball and we got to control blocking out.
He's been coming along nicely lately. Do you think the light bulb's going on for him?
Say that again, Alex. I'm sorry.
Do you think the light bulb's kind of come on?
Yeah, I think it has for Bab. It has some. I thought tonight Woodbury beat him to some plays and balls, But all in all, did he contribute? You look at the stat sheet, he certainly did. He's got great knowledge of our defense. He's in the right position a lot. And he has gotten better. He has. He's improved a lot. His body's really changed in season, which is hard to do. Give a lot of credit to Fletch with that. I'm anxious to see what he can do with him in a true off season. Because I think we'll see even another change with his body. With Thorne and Black being out, like he talked earlier, that's provided Mav and Finke some opportunities. Probably more opportunities than would have been there otherwise, and maybe that might be slight silver lining in the cloud. In terms of their development. Do I think it's helped Maverick that he's had to play more and gotten? Yes, sure. Yeah, I think it's helped Finke too. Sure. And that's encouraging, certainly not only for this season but moving forward.
Coach, you've mentioned things that you can control, and then you've mentioned several times mental toughness being lacking in games. Is there anything you can do as a coaching staff to kind of help them, or is it like Jalen said, where it kind of falls on the players?
A little bit of both. I mean, I think we're obviously working our tails off to try to help them. We're going to continue to do that. That's our job, and then they've got to take some ownership in it too. It reminded me, last night. I mean, I don't get a chance to watch very much or see very many press conferences, all that, because we're busy doing what we're doing. But I did see Coach Williams comment about how much he liked his team, which is how much I like my team, and that sometimes when adversity hits, it got to be a little bit tougher. I mean, that's how I feel about my team. I like our guys. I like them. I told them if my daughter was old enough, I'd let all of them date her. I like them. I can't say that about every team I've coached. But although I like them, I'd like for them to be a heck of a lot tougher when we get popped in the mouth. I thought we'd taken a step in the right direction in some games. Scott mentioned earlier about some of our comebacks, Ohio State, Minnesota, Rutgers. I mean, and I certainly don't want to downplay the resiliency that they needed to show to win those games or play well and come back in those games. It's good. I just think sustainability of that has been low. It's got to be better. It's got to be better. We got to be a lot mentally tougher for the duration of games than what we are right now.
Louis in the back.
Coach, you keep talking. You harp on the toughness theme. One of the stats that was pretty alarming was the 26-6 and the second chance points.
Yeah.
To you, is that effort or is that personnel?
Both. A little bit of both. For us, second chance points or something. We've got about 2 or 3 guys that that's their responsibility. We're more of a. That's why I'm disappointed with our transition defense. We've got to be better there. Guys could pursue balls a little bit harder. I thought DJ Williams pursued the ball harder. Malcolm probably can pursue it a little bit harder and has pursued it a little bit harder than in the past probably. But, again, we're asking him to do an awful lot. Both ends of the floor in a lot of minutes. But that, obviously what bothers me most there is their 26, not our 6. Based on the current team we have and our current personnel, I'm more concerned with the gap in the number. I realize there may be a little bit of a gap. It's kind of like I was talking about earlier, but that's too large. We've got to block out better. We've got to engage better. I didn't think we had it there today at a max level.
John, back to DJ for just a minute. You look at him, he's so long, and maybe we saw the most we've seen from him today. It makes you wonder what his ceiling might be. As he grows the next few years, what do you see him becoming?
Well, he made a step in the right direction today, and he's been practicing better. I do think his preparation has been better. He started to learn our defense better, which is, I knew he would. He's pretty smart, so he picks things up pretty quickly. So those things are all good. I think consistency with his effort has been there lately. It's probably a big reason why he played well today. He had good practice habits, and he did some good things today. Obviously he, turned it over there a couple times, and and I don't want him to be a negative assist to turnover ratio guy, and he knows that, and he's working very hard on taking care of the ball. But I thought he did some good things. He's certainly talented. There's no question about it. Once he starts to put it all together, he's going to be a very good player. He's well on his way.
Malcolm had, his numbers actually look really good. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, only 9 shots to get his 14 points. Were they just trying to take him away?
Oh, sure, they were doubling him a lot. That's why I said earlier he made the right play a lot out of pick and rolls, low post situations. I thought he really played the right way. And unfortunately, we didn't finish some of those plays that he made that should have been assist or hockey assist. but he played the right way. I thought his shot selection was great. Thought he still had that balance of being in attack mode, but not being wild and finding guys when they were open. And I thought he did some good things. He had practiced really well the last couple of days, so I'm not surprised that he played well.
Coach, Kendrick just seemed to be short on most of his jumpers. Is that the hip, or is that a continuation of just kind of the struggles he's had the last?
Yeah, he just
2 or 3
didn't have
weeks?
it today. He wasn't. He didn't play very well today. But I got a lot of confidence in him. He's been through a lot of wars. I really, appreciate the fact that he played the other night. He very easily could have not played the other night. So he wanted to be out there for his team and found a way to get his body in position where he could help us a little bit on Wednesday night. What type of toll does that take? We did have a day off Thursday. You're trying to manage, that hip area as best you can. I don't know. I don't live inside his body. He's not a guy that's an excuse guy. That's not his style. But at the end of the day, he just didn't have one of his better games. He didn't play very well. But I anticipate him playing better, moving forward. He's a competitor.
Coach, you mentioned the inconsistency with the toughness. At this point in the season, is there anything you as a coaching staff can try to change that mindset, or is it kind of late in the year where they're kind of who they are?
You've got to continue to address it, obviously, and be honest and real with them and show them what that looks like and what it doesn't look like. We've done that a lot. But, at the end of the day, like J. Cole said, there's got to be some onus there, and guys got to step up, and do a better job in the moments that happen during games, where things don't go our way. I think we need to be a little bit, mentally tougher. Our guys at this point can pretty much tell you what they're supposed to do. They have to have the mental toughness, ability to concentrate and do it regardless of circumstance. And that really, what that is that's mental toughness. And we've got to be a lot mentally tougher.
Today, Coach McCaffrey mentioned how his players played a lot as freshmen, and now they're building to seniors and have had a lot of playing time. Do you look at the 2 guys you had with you today and think about that future, them being forced into roles they are right now, and think about what that will do for them in the long run?
Yeah, it depends on the moment. Right now, I'm not thinking about that. Right now I'm thinking about now. And not that, Khalid Lewis is a selfish person, because he's not, but, I owe that to him. I mean, he's not interested in what it's going to look like in 3 or 4 years. He's a senior. I owe it to him to give him everything I got now. Our guys owe it to give it everything they got now. And I think by honoring that process, then the future will take care of itself.
Production-wise for you guys in the point guard position, again, low tonight, 2 points across the board. Are you going to stick with Lewis and Tate throughout here, or is it a guy like Malcolm Hill that maybe comes in since he's played all 5 positions almost, it seems, this year?
We'll see how that goes. Obviously, we're down bodies, so, there's a lot of things that play into that. But I've got confidence in those 2 guys. I just want them to execute their role well, Khalid, I thought, could have finished a couple around the basket a little bit better today, but he was 10-0 assist to turnover ratio the last 2 days in practice. I thought played really well in practice. Those guys know exactly what we've asked them to do, and as long as they're doing their job, then we need them to do that well, their job well, night in, night out, and be consistent with it.
I guess while we're on point guards, Tijon 2 fractures in his foot, and is that just at this point, are you just wondering what else can happen? What's
not really. I mean, I've seen it all. I've been around a while, so it is what it is. For whatever reason, it happened, and now we got to be there for him, support him and his family, and move forward and figure it out. And the good or bad news is we've got a lot of experience in dealing with those situations.
Kirk in the middle.
Coach, you've known that JCL's a big-time shot maker for a while now. How is it to see it finally progressing in Big Ten season?
He's getting better. He's really improving. He's always been able to do that. What I like is he's starting to, figure things out a little bit defensively. He cares a lot, hard worker. I think he's untapped. Obviously he's a shot maker, but I think his body, you remember he had no summer, no European practice, didn't play in the 4 European games, had no fall training camp, and didn't start practicing until November the 1st, and then played in the opener after about 2 weeks. So his body is going to change a great deal once he gets with Fletch. I think DJ's body will change a great deal. AJ needs to change it. Mav's going to blow up. I mean, I'm excited about those guys in terms of what's going to happen there with their bodies. That'll really help them immensely, the strength part. But in the meantime, we are who we are here down the stretch, and guys have got to man up, and they got to be physical, and they got to be willing to throw their bodies around and make plays.
John, following up Scott's question about T-John, I don't think you have any penalty for analyzing officiating at the high school level. Freddie Riley was pretty adamant that there should have been more basically protection for his team visiting, that the refs pretty much just swallowed their whistles, and it was that aggressive play that led to the injury. Do you have any comment?
I don't know about that. What I do know is that the foul was unfortunate. It was called an intentional foul, and in my opinion, it was clearly an intentional foul. But it is what it is, Rob. I mean, it is what it is.
The handling adversity thing, I'm sure that's like a collective thing for you, but are there certain guys you think can lead in that area or are doing it well, or that you can kind of rally to that cause?
Obviously it needs to be our older guys, Shannon. I mean, they're the guys that have, they know what that looks like. They've been around Egwu, and, Tracy certainly helps being around, but he's not out there while they're playing, So those guys have got to find a way to come together. J. Cole's right. You can't play for them. You can show them what it looks like. They've had examples of what it looks like. They know what toughness looks like. They know what it doesn't look like. And at the end of the day, it's a choice. It's a choice, and we've got to continue to demand more out of them. We've got to continue to hold them more accountable. We've done that more and more and more and more and more. And but at some point, there is a difference between being coachable and being teachable. I do think we've got some guys that are teachable. They've got to really embrace what's important to our culture, and toughness is important. And some guys have been thrust into situations that maybe aren't quite ready. We don't have the luxury of, that's not reality for us right now with where we're at currently, and guys got to figure it out on the fly. Some of them have been, I think, would tell you at the end of the year it'll be interesting. I think some would tell you it's been a little bit harder than what they thought, and but I think a big thing for us is getting more physically developed as well as mental. I think it's equal portions there. And, obviously right now we are who we are. We've got to figure out how to play better. And I thought Jalen put it very well in terms of controlling what you can control, your effort, blocking out, being strong with the ball, executing what we call, all those little things matter. And, they certainly have gotten amplified for this group. So we're going to worry about controlling what we can control and trying to get better at those things, because the little things do make a big difference. And I think, I do think some of the guys have gotten better at some of the things, but we need them to improve even more.
Last one here.
Okay. And when you look at